I fished in saltwater all over these United States, both coasts, the entire Gulf Coast, but I've never fished in a place that's exactly like the place that we're coming to you from on this week's episode, for a lot of reasons, and they're all very interesting. I think you're going to be real happy you joined us this week. The next half hour is going to be a lot of fun. Fox Sports Outdoors is on the air right now.
You're watching the only program with weekly fishing reports and real-time outdoor news from the Southwest region. This is Fox Sports Outdoors.
Well, I'm standing down on the Texas Gulf Coast right now at a place that's unlike anywhere else I've ever been, really for a lot of reasons. One of those reasons is it's got some of the biggest speckled trout in it of anywhere I travel up and down the Atlantic or Gulf Coast of our country. I'm going to talk on today's show, though, about some other reasons why this place is so different and special. I'd like to welcome you in right now to East Matagorda Bay. This is a big complex bay system located southwest of Houston, Texas. It's really a big place. Finding fish here can be like a needle in a haystack, but I've got some tips, tricks today from some local guides that fish here every day. We're going to pass those along to you in the next half hour. And as you can see just over my shoulder, we've got the beautiful Blazer Bay 2420 GTS 2. Now the 2 is because it's a special rod locker edition that I am really excited about. We'll be talking much more about that, but it's got built-in rod lockers for the first time. It's rigged out with the Mercury Verado 254 stroke, all the goodies, and we're going to take it out on East Matagorda today, show you some speckled trout fishing and pass along some really interesting stuff that I've really never heard of before, and I think it could really help you. While we're doing that, we're taking you around the region for your local fishing reports from our expert team of insider reporters from lakes, rivers, and bays near you, both fresh and saltwater. They've got this week's reports. Right now, the Blazer Bay goes out in East Matagorda Bay. The next time you see me, I'll be out there fishing. Right now, it all gets started back at the FSN studios with your weekend planner.
The Salooner tables are predicting fair game fish activity for each day this weekend. Peak game fish activity should begin a little before sunrise both mornings and again in the afternoon at 4:53 on Saturday and 5:40 on Sunday. Expect the sun to rise at 6:20 and set at 8:31. And evenings will feature a moon that is 85% illuminated. Stay with us. We've got fishing reports from across the area on the way. Plus, 2014 Bassmaster Classic champion Randy Howell joins us for this week's Ask the Pro feature. Back in a bit.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Lou's. Feel the difference. Gene LaRue and Bobby Garland. We know bass and crappie from heads to tails. And by Glacier Glove. Stay outdoors longer with our gloves, hats, and shades.
You got it. Pull my bobber down. There we go. What have I got? There's a trout. Pull my bobber down. There we go. What have I got? There's a trout. All right. That's a good keeper anyway. Come up here, buddy. There we go. That's a little Matagorda Bay fatty for you right there. Welcome back, everybody. We've made it out on the pond, and we've got a desired species right there. There is a Matagorda, East Matagorda Bay. Nice speckled trout right there. Look how fat they are here. I tell you, the fish are very healthy in this place. The ones that I've caught before, and this is the first one on this trip, and he's very healthy as well. So we've got to start anyway. We're not keeping him today, but that would be a good one to keep if we were. Let me get you set up on this place. This is not derogatory at all, but this place is kind of featureless. It's just a big, open, sort of oval-shaped bowl of real salty water that's loaded with redfish and big speckled trout, and several other species as well. You're fishing a lot of open water here, and you're fishing for fish that are suspended up off the bottom. We're in 4 to 8 feet of water, but we're only fishing about 2 feet down, maybe just a little more than 2 feet. We're calling those fish up with a popping cork and then bringing a little soft plastic shrimp right in behind it, and the noise attracts them. But it's really interesting place. Again, I can't name another spot that's just like this as far as the way you fish here, catching good quality fish in open water, this type of terrain. It's just a very unique fishery.
Hi folks, and welcome to this week's Lone Star Lakes, brought to you once again by the good folks at Fiberworks Marine Collision. Getting the work done fast, getting the work done right, and getting you back out on the water. Now this week it's all about the kids because school is out and it's time to take them fishing. There's a couple of species you want to focus on, sand bass and brim. They both bite frequently, they're easy to catch, and they don't take a lot of special gear. We're going to start with sand bass, and you might want to look at lakes like Louisville, Grapevine, Lake of the Pines, you've got Richland Chambers. They're just all of our Texas lakes have good sand bass populations for the most part. You want to use a slab or a spoon, and you might even go about 3 feet up and tie on a crappie jig as a little dropper so you can catch 2 at a time. If that's too much, just use live bait. Go to a main lake point or the humps, look on your electronics, drop those offerings down and you'll catch the fish. For brim, you're going to look shallow, you're going to look along the banks, and you're going to want to rig up something with 6-pound test line and a very small hook. About 8 to 10 inches above that, put a small split shot, and just above that, put a bobber. You can use all manner of live bait to catch these brim, and it's a ton of fun. That's this week's Lone Star Lakes. Remember, take a kid fishing.
Hey folks, Captain Greg Verm here with this week's Fox Southwest Outdoors Report. Hey, summer is here on the Texas coast. Water temperatures are coming up. Over in Galveston, both the north and south jetties, we're catching lots of specks and reds. I just got off the phone with Captain Bo. He's running a trip this morning. He already has a good box of specks, reds, sheep's head, Spanish mackerel, and pompano. Now they've got the big rods out and they're shark fishing. Black tip spinners and Atlantic sharpnose are showing up as the waters continue to rise. Here in Freeport, Captain Gregory has been on some solid specks along the San Luis Pass and Christmas Bay. 2 to 4 foot of water, wade fishing shorelines with down south plastics and top waters seem to be working best. Tidal movement is the key. Offshore here out of Freeport has been awesome. We're finishing up amberjack season and getting ready for red snapper. I ran a few trips this past week for amberjack and slammed some giants. Deep dropping snapper slappers, 7 ounce, tipped with fresh ribbon fish are working best. Also, the kingfish are thick and mahi are showing up too. Red snapper season is going to be great this year. This week's report is brought to you by Fish Sticks Rods and Snapper Slapper Lures. If you want to check out the rods we use to bring in the big fish, check out that website on your screen. Also, it's time to stock up on those Snapper Slapper Lures. Red snapper season's here. Snapper Slappers is a lure to use.
Good keeper right there on a popping cork. And that one actually hit a live shrimp. Put him back real quick. See you, buddy. Oh, there's one. There's one bit it. Right out in front of the boat. Ooh, good pull. Let's see what we got. There comes my popping cork right there. He's swimming at the boat now. You never know what you've got till you get them up here and get a look at them. That's a good trout. Yeah, look at here. Just a good solid keeper. Whoa. I'm gonna grab the net for this fish real quick. God, what a fight. Man, get in that net. All right, there's a decent sized fish anyway. Welcome back everybody. We're still at Matagorda. We've been working real hard to try to catch a couple of trout. And I finally caught one. How about that? That's a good solid keeper right there. In fact, the hook came off right in his mouth, or right in my net. But oh, don't do it. We're trying to be real careful. Gonna release him. There we go. It's a good keeper right there on a popping cork. And that one actually hit a live shrimp. I'll put him back real quick. See you, buddy. Away he goes. Here's the next deal about East Matagorda Bay. You're gonna look at all this off-colored, muddy-looking water and go, yuck, I can't catch a fish in that. Yes, you can. The trick is you find the streaky green water, and here's what that means. when the tide comes in, it sucks water in through Mitchell Cut, clean water out of the Gulf of Mexico, and then begins to mix with that murky, off-colored water. If you can find the line where the cleaner, greener water is mixing with the muddier, turbid, brown, off-colored water, they call that the streaky green water. And that's the area where the bait fish tend to live, and that's where the trout and the redfish tend to live. You've been looking at a few shots from our drone of how muddy looking this is, and just to your naked eye, if you just glance at it, it all looks the same. But I've got polarized sunglasses on, these are my Strike Kings, and I can get up here and drive around and scan this water, and I can find those tricky little subtle spots where that green water mixes with the muddy, the streaky green water. Find it, and you can find some good trout like that here on East Matagorda Bay. Let's go fishing some more.
Hey friends, Captain Kevin Broussard here for your Fox Sports Louisiana Outdoor Report. Coming to you from Cajun Paradise Lodge and Charters right here on Calcasieu Lake. As you can see here, fish are biting. Tell you what, if you want redfish, we can put you on them. If you want speckled trout, we're starting to get into that summertime pattern. Got some birds working on some trout, top water, soft plastics early, seem to be the key. South end of Big Lake, West Cove, over the Oyster Reef. Tell you what, redfish, got them from the Gulf jetties right now, all the way up to Preon Lake. Live shrimp, scented soft plastics, fish bites on 1/8 and 1/4 ounce Rockport Rattler jig heads, also producing very well. I tell you what, if you want to go up in the marshes and sight cast, they're starting to get some big redfish up in that shallow water. You throw a light soft plastic, like a scented plastic, and I tell you what, on a light jig head, they can't turn it down, or a gold spoon seems to be working best. Fresh water, early and late seems to be the key. Toledo Bend, buzz baits. Early in the morning, late in the afternoon. Soft plastics later in the day, Carolina rig, 12 to about 16 foot of water off those longer points. Tell you what, you want to make a trip to Cajun Paradise, give us a call. For Old Cajun Phil, I'm Captain Kevin Broussard saying happy fishing and may God bless.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Motor Guide's new wireless and easy-to-use XI3. XI batteries, powering the world forward. Waypoint Marine, the Gulf Coast's leading saltwater boating specialist. And Strike King, designed by the pros, fished by you.
Come here, buddy. All right, there is another Matagorda trout. There's something. That's a trout, decent trout. All right. Come here, buddy. All right, there is another Matagorda trout, and I'm about to give away a secret. Glad you're along with us, everybody. Well, we're having fun catching some of those. That's just an average to small size trout for this place. Now, there's a lot of places you go, that would be your good, solid, nice size, big trout, but not here. This is just an average fish, an average keeper. They are real fat here, by the way. It's good fish. We're not keeping them today. And I want to give you a little secret here. I caught that fish on something, really, I've never done this before. This is a lot of nevers today. In order for me to show you this, I need to go back where the bait well is in the back of my Blazer Bay 2420 GTS here. It's got a good bait well back here with an aerator system in it. Come right back here a second. Here is the real magic. Now, most trout anglers, when they're using live bait, will use popping cork, the leader, and then a Kale hook. But here's the little trick. Captain Trey and all his clients catch their giant trout on that. It's a little tiny number 10 treble hook, little bitty treble, catching those big trout. And here's the other secret. He said most of these big giant trout that they catch come on the smallest little shrimp in the bait well. That's about 1.5 to 2 inch live shrimp. And believe it or not, that will catch a 10-pound speckled trout. There is your real day in, day out guide secret for today.
Hey, I want to showcase Fort Gibson Lake this week as the way that you can catch crappie in many of our lakes across the state of Oklahoma at this time. Now most of the fish here have spawned. They're starting to move out now into the offshore structure and really stacking up in those brush piles. That'll continue to be the case here for a little bit longer before they start scattering out in many places across the bodies of water. Now Gary Rowe from Wagner's had great success, recent outings with his son and also a fishing buddy Curtis. And what they have been doing is targeting those brush piles anywhere from about 8 to 20 foot of water, making a cast across that, swimming that bait back over across the top of it, doing really well, catching numbers and quality using that technique. His best bait has been the baby shad swimmer. He likes the bone white, chartreuse color, but it's also had good success with a little itty bit slab slayer with a split shot above it. Both applications, he's making a cast across the brush pile, bringing it back over the top of that, and so the fish are really hitting it hard, and you can see here that he's having good success doing that. Gary, appreciate that fishing report from Fort Gibson Lake. I hope you can get out and try that at your favorite lake in Oklahoma, because you can catch them right now, but you can't catch them if you don't go.
There it went, there it went, there it went. Got him, fish on, fish on. You see that bobber go down? That ought to be a trout of some kind. Yep, just another keeper trout right there. Whoa, don't fall in. What a beauty. There's one more for you. We'll grab it, unhook it, release it. And I promised you information and I promised you big fish. Now, we haven't caught any big ones today, but we've had a great time catching some of those. Look how yellow that fish's mouth is right there. Purple on the sides. What a great fish. We've had a good time catching a bunch of fish today, and I want to tell you two things. One, we caught a whole bunch of different species of fish today. While you're waiting to catch a trout, if that's what you want to catch, I caught a redfish, I caught sheephead, caught black drum, croaker, sand trout. So if you want to bring kids here and you just want action, you can get a lot of action here, and you can get a lot of stuff jerking on the end of your line, and you can catch the trout of a lifetime, as evidenced by these photos. Here are some photos from this year, and these are all giant trout that came out of this bay, East Matagorda, right here. Now, a lot of these fish came wade fishing, but this place is loaded with literally the trout of a lifetime. We'll give you the contact information here. If you would like to book Canyon Creek Outfitters, they can bring you out here. They've got all the boat, all the tackle, all the gear that you'll need, and they can put you on some of these fish like we caught today, and you'll have a chance to catch a real trophy of a lifetime.
You can always watch our latest episode on the front page of our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com. Catch up on past episodes by clicking the archive button and learn about fishing techniques and new gear at our how-to page. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter for new fishing videos every day. Simply search for Fox Sports Outdoors and click the like button on Facebook and follow button on Twitter. And watch a new episode every week on any device by downloading the free Waypoint TV app on your phone, tablet, computer, or smart TV. Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Nitro Performance Fishing Boats. Champions aren't born, they're made. Mercury Outboards, go boldly. And Lowrance and the new Hook 2, the world's easiest fish finder.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time for the Ask the Pro question. This week, Josh would like to know, how often should I replace my line? For the answer, we asked 2014 Bassmaster Classic champion, Randy Howell.
These days with fluorocarbon line now, most of the guys like us all use fluorocarbon, and that's what I suggest everybody use, because fluorocarbon holds up longer, and if you pay more for fluorocarbon, but you don't have to change it out as often as you do monofilament. So I would say a tip that I give a lot of people is if you leave your fluorocarbon line in the rod locker in the garage for a month or 2 months and you get it back out ready to fish with, I'll take it outside, hook the hook on a post or something or a tree, walk it out 50 yards, stretch it tight like you're trying to break it, and just hold it tight and then wind it back tight on the spool, and it's like brand new again. So you really don't have to change it out that often. It holds up really well. Cut off a couple feet when you retie it and you should be good to go there. And that's with good fluorocarbon. I use gamma fluorocarbon, and most of the premium fluorocarbon will last for a long time now.
Thanks, Randy. If you have a question for one of the pros, visit our website, click on the Ask the Pro link, and send it in. Now stay with us to see the latest Big Catch of the Week winner.
Every week on the show, someone gets their big fish photo shown right here on television on the Big Catch of the Week contest. And here is this week's winner. He's Carlos Guerra of Laredo, Texas, with a 9-pound, 4-ounce largemouth bass he caught at Lake Falcon, Texas. If you'd like to be our next winner, just go to our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com, click in the Big Catch of the Week area on the right side of the front page and follow the instructions to send us your big fish photo. Next up, here's a couple of gear tips for you, beginning with the most asked question that we get here on the show. What are those gloves that Barry wears every week? Well, they're glacier gloves, and they're on me every week for a very important reason. I've been under the care of a dermatologist for the last couple of years to try to get my beat up, worn out hands back in shape, and I do that by protecting them with glacier gloves. Now, they're fingerless, they're breathable, they'll keep the fish teeth, the wind, and the sun off my hands. They do a great job, but yet with being fingerless, I can still tie knots, handle my baits and my lures and everything I need to do. You can see the glacier gloves by going to our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com, clicking on the Glacier Gloves logo that rotates through the middle of the front page. Follow it to their website. You can see all the products, including a couple of my favorite pairs of gloves. Next up, I want to show you a little tip that the guides use here on East Matagorda. I showed you earlier the little number 10 treble hook that they use on their live shrimp. They also put one on a loop knot in front of their plastic shrimp imitation. You can see here the big hook in the plastic shrimp. You tie a loop knot in front of it, you put that little number 10 treble hook on in front of it, and most of those big trout will snag on that treble hook rather than on the big hook in the plastic shrimp. You can find out how to tie that loop knot just by Googling it on the internet. I heard a cool question the other day. When was the last time you did something for the first time? We tend to get stuck in patterns and ruts in our life. We do the same old thing over and over. It makes life boring. To freshen life up a little bit, you might try a couple of new things. Call someone you haven't talked to in a long time. Order something different on the restaurant menu. Use new words besides awesome and amazing. Do something besides sit down and watch television after dinner tonight. You might just be surprised at how changing up your routine might freshen up your entire life. And before we leave you, I'd like to give you the contact information one more time for Canyon Creek Guide Service. Chris Caldwell, Trey Pry, his crew do a great job. They can put you on these trout here at East Matagorda Bay, and you will have a chance to catch the biggest speckled trout of your entire life. Also, I'd like to give you the information for the Tucker House where we stay when we come here. It's a beautiful place located very conveniently, only about a mile from the boat ramp, close to the bait house, the restaurant, everything you could want in one location. The Tucker House is beautifully accommodated. It'll sleep your family, your crew, and you can contact them at the information that you see right there on your screen as well. Thanks for joining us this week from East Matagorda Bay. Till next week, I'm Barry Stokes. Be safe, have fun. Bye-bye, y'all.